Yeah, it's your boy Crypto Blood. We're gonna wait for a few more people to get in here. Enjoy this track I did about, it's been what, 10 years now? Used to make beats for those who don't know. So we're rocking out to one of my joints from back in the day. My man John App know what's up. We freestyled over this track years ago. What's up, Blockchain Nation? Dog Barker, Jimbo Slice PT, Dolphin 134. Giving you guys a shout out. We'll be starting soon here, people. Make sure you guys get over there and if you want to talk, that's what this is primarily about. Make sure you guys go ahead and call that hotline. 669-900-6833. And we'll get started in a minute. Big O, what's up, man? We got Connecticut in here, okay. Thank you everyone for joining. Montreal is in the building. What's going on? Tonight we're gonna have a poll. I got a poll I'm doing tonight, so this is gonna be interesting. Seattle in the house. I visited Seattle last year, man. Good coffee out there, I tell you. Polly B, your merch is on the way, bro. I sent you a message in Telegram. I think you ordered the hoodie or a t-shirt. I can't remember which one. I had a few orders go out today. John Gregg, yeah, my Ireland brothers. What's going on, Ireland? I gotta get, you know, there are a few international numbers, man. I'm gonna try to put a list up next time so you guys can call in. We got West Virginia on the line. Maryland DMV. Speaking of shirts, I want you guys to get over to and support the movement, support the channel. This is how you support me. Get over to cryptoblood.io. And we actually got two new shirts for you Litecoin lovers. Check this out. Too legit to quit. I'm loving this joint right here. So we got it in black and also in white. So check that out. And we're going to get started here in a second, people. Again, the number is on your screen. So please give a call in. Get a few people queued up for tonight. I know, Cosmic, man. Horrible game U of M had that night. Yeah. What's going on, bro? Chicago here. Okay, Chicago. Y'all gang bangers out there in Chicago need to put those guns down and pick up the cryptos. 6 Mile brick. Oh, we got some 6. All right, 6 Mile in the joint. I'm from 7 Mile. We're gonna give it another 2 minutes here, people, before we get started. Just gotta set up my camera, get that all situated, and we are on our way. So topics for tonight will be Coinbase. We're going to talk about Coinbase ERC20 tokens. We're going to talk about George Soros. That's a heated debate or topic. And we'll also talk about taxes, man. April 17th is fastly approaching, and I just want to get a feel for what you guys are going to do about these taxes and crypto taxes, I should say, more specifically. But before we do get started, I actually got a caller on the line. That's what I'm talking about. Let's do that caller right now. 1 second. Caller, hold 1 second. Caller, hold 1 second. All right. Caller on the line. Call on the line. Where you calling from? You there? Call on the line. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yep. How you doing tonight?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man.
What did you want to talk about tonight on Off the Chain?
Oh.
Okay. I don't know what happened there, but that guy's tweaking on something. I don't know what happened. So, guys, call in. That was weird. Call in. The number is on the screen. 669-968-33. But again, we are going to be talking about Soros. I think we'll start with Soros. He's in the news lately, and he's basically going to be entering the crypto market. So this is going to be interesting. I definitely want to see what you guys feel about that. Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? Like, how do you guys feel about George Soros entering the crypto game? He bashed it really hard initially. So it's interesting to see him kind of turn his position on that. And honestly, I feel like it's more so probably not even him. He's like 80, 83, 84 years old. He's got people running his fund. I'm not sure if it's him directly or not, but we'll get into that. But first, let's go ahead and take a look at the market cap. We're still around 263 billion. Bitcoin's dominance is at 45.2%. And we got a green day today, people. We got a green day. I think we're in a trading channel, to be honest with you. We'll see if it will manifest. But before we go any further, I do have another caller on the line. Call on the line. It's your boy Crypto Blood. Talk to me. Where you calling from?
Crypto Blood, down out of West Virginia. How's it going?
Good. How are you, man?
Hey, doing good, doing good. Want to talk about Soros for a second.
Soros.
I kind of found that an announcement pretty odd. I mean, what's the point of the announcement? If somebody's about to get in the game, they don't need to run a piece and announce it to everyone that they're getting into the game.
Right.
I mean, just go ahead and start buying.
You know, I believe. So he didn't. I don't think he did need. You know, he wasn't. It wasn't necessary for him to make an official statement. But I know because of his, you know, capacity as far as money under management and stuff, they do have to file these forms and stuff to let the regulators know that what moves they're making. So it was going to come out either way. I don't know if that was how it came out. You know, someone saw that he filed. I forgot what form that is, but I'm not sure, man. What is your take on it, though? Do you think that's a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing for cryptos?
I feel like, well, I mean, if he were going to be in the market, see, his his fund could be just filing the paperwork to get in. But I mean, him personally, I mean, he's probably already been in the market, I'd imagine. I mean, he can't just ignore what's going on, you know, on a personal level, not his fund.
Okay, got you.
You know, and there's no stopping him from being in this market on a personal level. Or
I don't. That's a good question, man. I think even on a personal level, I'm not sure how that. There's a gray area with that. It's not because he is associated with a registered trading firm. You do, like when I was doing my thing with Forex, I had to, like, you have to register and tell, like, if I'm doing a personal account, I have to let them know that I have XYZ licenses and so on and so forth. So I'm not sure how that works. He's on a whole another level though. But
that's a good point. But you know, you're talking about yourself being a guy that plays by the rules. This guy makes the rules and then
he
bends
does.
them.
That's
so
what I'm saying. Yes, he's a whole nother level.
You know, I'm not. He could have been in for as long as we know. He could be. You know, we talk about manipulation. You never know if he's the one pulling the string now. I mean, I'm with you. I believe in a free market, even if there is manipulation in there.
Right.
But I just feel like on the conspiracy side of things, I almost wonder if that's not a signal, you know, kind of just a mainstream media piece saying, all right, Soros is getting in, institutional money, you got the go ahead, jump in. Regulators, don't bother because it's here to stay. Just we're in. You know,
do you think that's a good thing? Do you think overall and when I say a good thing, that means different things, right? You know, you can talk about a good thing for price and market cap, and also you can talk about the aspect of more regulation, more manipulation, more XYZ. So there are kind of two aspects to it. Like,
yeah,
how do you think it affects it?
I can't say it's good or bad because it's a free market. Anyone can come in that wants to come in, and I got no problem with them being in the market. I don't see it. I mean, I guess I don't really see it as bullish or bearish. It's just kind of like a suspicion of having a big player in the market, someone who's known for wreaking havoc on markets. But the way Bitcoin is a finite supply, I mean, you can only manipulate so much, I think, before if people just take their crypto off the exchange and take it out of the game, you know, take it off the exchange so that finite number just looms in the background. I don't see how this could be manipulated for years and years and years like gold and silver or other markets. I see that there's an end game here by that finite supply.
I was talking to Nick from Truth Blitz over the phone about this a couple days ago. Like, the difference between cryptos being manipulated and like your precious metals being manipulated is that market has rehypothecation, so you can have so many more contracts floating out there versus what is physically available, so they can manipulate however they want. But with cryptos, you're still at least right now, most of the volume is trading spot crypto, spot Bitcoin, spot Litecoin. So that means I'm buying dollar for crypto. You know what I mean? Until the futures contracts kind of take over, then it's still a free market. You know, manipulation, yeah, but not in the sense of, you know, it's being manipulated by people who have big pockets, whales, people who have been in the markets since inception or earlier in the crypto in Bitcoin's life. So I don't know, man. It's a good and bad thing in my opinion.
Yeah, I see it as either way, neither. You know, I guess when we're talking about the finite supply, if this guy wants to go in and buy some astronomical amount of Bitcoin, that's just going to kind of accelerate that finite number looming in the background. I mean, we're just going to race our way towards all of the Bitcoins accounted for.
Right. So it really, people, like, if external money is coming in to manipulate, they're only benefiting us initially. You get what I'm saying? Because they have to buy into the market, and that's going to bid prices up. So anyone already in is going to benefit.
you know, let's put it this way: if the institutional money never came in, then us little people, we would just be dealing in our own currency, and it would either gradually or spike up to 20,000. It would organically grow, is what I'm saying. But if you get the big money, and it's just gonna accelerate that curve. Yes, you're gonna see manipulation the whole way up and down, but
sure,
you're just gonna accelerate the end product, which is a finite supply. That's my opinion. So I don't really care that he's in the market. I mean, we don't exactly scoff at volatility, the players in this market. We're used to it. So let it do what it's going to do. I'm going to sit here holding mine no matter what happens, because I got it off the exchange and I'm doing my part in holding that Bitcoin so that it can't be manipulated. That's all you can do, is keep playing the game, keep accumulating, and keep taking it offline.
Yeah, I hear you, man. West Virginia, thanks for calling in, bro.
Hey, no problem. Talk to you.
You got it. We got another caller on the line. It's your boy Crypto Blood. Talk to me.
What's up, bloody one? It's Chaos.
Chaos. What's going on, brother? Where you at now, man? Are you drive a load?
No, I'm a construction worker. I do industrial construction, so you know.
I know you be all over the map, man. You be like, I'm here. I'm in Nebraska today.
That's where I'm at right now, man. It's terrible here. I can't wait to leave.
What's on your mind tonight, man?
I thought I saw an article about the Rothschilds getting in too, into the crypto thing.
They sure are. What's your take? I didn't bring that up, but that's a good point that you bring to the table tonight. What's your thought? What are your thoughts on George Soros, the Rothschilds? They're starting a, I think some type of VC fund or I don't know what they're starting, but yeah, they're getting into the game as well. What are your thoughts?
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't say if it's good or bad, but we was expecting the institutional money to come in eventually. I don't know, exactly where people thought the institutional money was going to come from. It had to come from somebody with deep pockets or whatnot.
Right.
And, if people like the Soros and the Rothschilds going to come in, I'm pretty sure they want to make sure their money is protected, because that's all these people care about is business and their money. They don't care who they hurt or what means they have to go by to achieve what they want to achieve. They want to make sure their investment is protected.
Right. So
maybe down the line there will be some form of regulations on it. But I'm glad he bringing in his money. Maybe the money I did put in, it'll appreciate over time.
Yeah, like I said, the only thing, even let's say he starts tomorrow, we won't see an immediate effect from as far as price. We won't see that, because 9 times out of 10, George Soros, his level of money, him acquiring Bitcoin will not be on an exchange. It'll be over the counter.
Right.
So the volume you won't even see the volume.
Right. He can even he can, like, go to the what's the Mount Gox guy name who still have to sell the rest of those Bitcoin. Right. Go to one like that and get them without the exchange or whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? It could be George Soros buying. Well, no, Mount Gox guy went to the exchange like a dummy, and that's a whole nother nother topic. But it won't affect the markets initially.
And that could be the reason why we had this dip right now. Maybe they want to get the dip down so they can buy low, and we've been going through this for the past 3 months. So, but I'm holding for long term anyway. And so whatever's going on with these this past 3 months, it's cool. I'm thinking long term with it, because and I don't have any Bitcoin or anything like that. I have my main holdings are those passive tokens like Populous and Veritasium and PayPal, so I'm just waiting for them to put their platform out so I can get a residual income, so I can stop coming to places like Omaha, Nebraska.
I hear you on that one.
That's my goal, man.
I hear you on that one. Well,
but yeah, man, that's what it is. Is he's in the game. That's right on, and I'm pretty sure there's gonna be more in the game too. What's my man name? Marius, the dude who's making all those calls. His whole thing. He put out a tweet, and I don't know how he know, but he said he's been watching all of the politicians. They've been in the game for a while, like
I
Obama, the Clintons, and all that.
I wouldn't be surprised, bro, because if I don't know if you know this, but you know, your politicians, your congressmen, senators, they are what's the word I'm looking for? They're protected from any insider trading laws.
Right. Yeah.
So, hell, that definitely doesn't surprise me that they've been in Bitcoin and such. So, it's sad, man.
Right. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me neither. You know, they've been in it for the long, and seeing that Obama did meet with Reggie, you know, so I'm pretty sure he's up on the blockchain tech anyway, and all the Bitcoin talk. So it wouldn't surprise me if they're in it, you know, and we're just waiting for the official announcements, like Soros get his press releases. So
right.
Let's get the show on. It's gonna happen. So it is what it is.
All right, man. I appreciate the call in. Be safe out there, and we'll talk to you later.
10-4. I will check it out later.
All right. All right, people. Make sure you guys call me up. 669-900-6833. And there's the code right below, 169-861-119. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm kind of, like I said, I think it's a good thing for price. So if you guys want your coins to appreciate over time, it won't happen right away, in my opinion. Only way, in my opinion, you'll see some immediate price action from that is if you see other people kind of follow suit, maybe, and they start buying on the exchanges. But the big money, they're going to buy over the counter, people. They are not going to buy on an exchange. So we shall see. But I do want to show you. Let's go ahead and finish looking at this, though, because I didn't cover where we are from a technical analysis standpoint. So let's go ahead and look at that. So we've got we're still like right in the middle of this trading range right now. This is some weird price activity going on here. As you can see, we're flatline right around the green line that I had drawn there. That's a support area. And we flatlined again here earlier. And then we shot up again. And now we're kind of going back down. I don't know what's going on. Like I said earlier, I think we've kind of hit an area where all the sellers are pretty much out for now, at least. Could that selling accelerate and pick up? Absolutely. But as of right now, I'm seeing a trading range that we're developing. You know, I mean, just look at that. I'm going to kind of over exaggerate it, but you know, that's what we have going on here. So I don't know. What do you guys? I actually asked you on Twitter a day or so ago, which way did we think we would go? Some of you thought bears. Some of you thought the bulls would take over. As we've seen here, bulls kind of took over for a minute there. Let's see how long that will last, though. So not too sure. But again, I'm going to put that hotline number up there for us. People in the chat rooms, what's going on with you? I saw some good questions. They were kind of moving too fast for me, so I have to if you had a comment you wanted to make, just repost that for me. But the hotline number, 669-900-6833. Give me a call. So on to the actual article. This article is about the topic we've been talking about, which is the Soros Fund and their plans to launch cryptocurrency trading. Man, look at that picture of this guy. What I do want to point this out before we go any further. So for those who don't know who George Soros is, the guy actually, I knew him from the Big Short position or put. He had a huge put on Great Britain back in, I think, the 90s, or it may have been earlier. But he made billions off of shorting the British pound, and that's how he got his like legendary status and whatnot. But he hasn't always been right. So if you guys are familiar or not, I'm gonna kind of hip you to it. But Soros also shorted, I believe, the euro a few years ago, and he was hoping that the euro would go parity with the dollar, and that never happened. So I think he lost some money on that one as well. And he also another one he lost money on was actually right after the financial crisis. He was trying to short the equities market, I think 2016. So that turned out horribly. I think he was trying to short actually the Russell 2000 index fund, and he lost mad money on that one too. So the guy hasn't been right every time, like, you know how legends start, or the shroud of mystery around people who have made a lot of money. They're not right all the time. And so him getting into this space, I think for the reason why he's getting into it, I have no clue. But I think it will definitely usher in more institutional individuals into the space for sure. And like my man Chaos said, you got the Rothschilds coming in as well. So interesting turn of events from a more macro standpoint for cryptocurrencies. So it says here, U.S. investment fund Soros Fund Management, which currently operates about $26 billion in assets, will reportedly be investing in cryptocurrencies, despite the fact that the head of the fund, George Soros, earlier claimed that crypto is a bubble. Bloomberg reported on April 6th. And I kind of said this, you know, the guy is getting up in age. You take a what's his name, Warren Buffett, right? He's not really running that fund like that, you know. He's got people in place that are running the fund. He's just like the figurehead, sort of like the president, right? They don't really run things. They're the figurehead behind the image, behind the company, the brand of the company. That's what they do. So Soros personally may still be not a believer of cryptocurrencies, but you know, he's got some smart people running his fund. That his son, I think, actually is running the fund over there for Soros, if I'm not mistaken. But it says here, according to Bloomberg, citing people familiar with the matter, Adam Fisher, who is responsible for global macroeconomic investing at Soros Fund Management, has already received internal approval for cryptocurrency operations, but he has not started trading yet. In a speech at the World Economic Forum in Davos on January 25th, Soros argued that cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin cannot be considered currency due to the volatility and that their value is speculative. So before I go any further, I want to put that number up there for you guys again. And I want to talk about this portion, this one statement that George Soros made, because you're going to probably be surprised that I actually agree with them. So hotline number, we can talk about this too. Hotline number 669-900-6833. And the code is 169-861-119. We've got 70 viewers on the live stream right now. So this, I'm gonna say this again. Says here, Soros argued that cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin cannot be considered currency due to their volatility and that their value is speculative. Now, I don't agree with George Soros on much, but I have to agree with him on that. And you know, I've come to this conclusion. I actually talked about this with Fiat Antidote earlier today. That you guys saw it earlier today. It took me a few years to come to this realization, but Bitcoin cannot operate as an everyday currency. It just can't. And I'd love to get your feedback on that, but here's my reasoning behind that statement. Essentially, for currency to work as a currency that everyone will use readily every day for payments, as far as your salary and all that good stuff, or paying for other, paying for goods and services, that currency has to either be like have no inflation or no deflation, or it has to be somewhat inflationary. It has to be. And the reason is because I'm not going to go spend a Bitcoin on anything. I don't know, a shirt, bike, car. I'm not going to spend that Bitcoin if I know in a year and a half or so, or even shorter term, that Bitcoin will be worth much more. So what happens is you have people hoarding the so-called currency or money, and they don't utilize it. There's no money velocity going on. So I'll get back to my thought after I take this call. Caller on the line, it's your boy Crypto Blood. Talk to me. What's going on tonight?
Crypto Blood, what's good, boy?
What's up? What's up? Who's calling in?
It's Big O, man. It's Big O, man. What's good, boy?
New York.
What up, man? How you?
Good, man. What's the word?
Man, my head is hurting me over this taxes, but
oh yeah, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna try something this year, man. I was talking to my CPA, and he was telling me we just gonna file everything that turned into fiat,
Okay.
And because for me to go through Bittrex, Binance, Trezor, Ledger, all that stuff is just a mess for me, and there's some other things that I got into. I don't see how, I don't see the sense of doing it like that. The problem they have is when you turn over to fiat, right? That's the main issue that they have, right? So
yeah, I mean, it is, but I've had two separate individuals on. They see it differently, man, and it's a big, I'm not saying they're right. I'm just saying that there is so much confusion, and I think they actually like it that way.
That's the problem, because it's just like you said. I talked to like 3 different accountants, and they all have their own idea of how it should be done. So, I mean, what's really the right way,
Right.
I don't know. I really don't know. I think it's better to file something instead of not doing anything at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you. I definitely hear you on that.
So did you get a chance to handle your business yet?
Yeah, I'm in the middle of doing that now, man. I'm not going to disclose what I'm doing as far as that. Right. But yeah, we're taking care of it, and it's very ambiguous.
I got a question for you. What about like the privacy stuff? Do they want you to file that also? Or,
oh yeah, absolutely. They want you to. Absolutely.
They want you to. Are people going to do it? That's a big question.
It's a big question, bro. It's a big question. I don't know, man. We're shifting into a new paradigm. I don't know how people are going to act, man, and conform. This is I don't know yet, man. We got to see, man. This year will be a telling year for taxes, how people react, how much, because of course it's going to come out how much IRS collected from crypto gains this year, and it's going to be a watershed year for that.
Yeah, I think they should have some leniency on people because it's new, right? I mean, and it's a lot of confusion. Most people they transfer over the fiat on their Coinbase account, right? So I mean, it only makes sense that you use your Coinbase account and you file what you turn into fiat. That's just how I'm looking at it.
Yeah, but you got to look at it from their perspective. Leniency is a sign of weakness. They want people to see fear. You know, you want people to be fearful about what they're doing, so they can, you know, we can line up under the rules and regulations. So they'll never be lenient, or at least come out and say that.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So, but I'm gonna, if you can stay tuned, I will be getting to the tax issue or tax subject very soon, man.
I see you hot on the Soros subject, so I'm gonna let you get it in, you know.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
I just want one more question. You know,
sure.
There was a time I was out there on your side of town, and I had went to a party, and I'm not gonna make this long, but
no, go ahead.
Y'all was doing some type of like battle dancing. Are they still doing that? Or they used to call it jitting or something like that?
No, we don't jit no more, man. We do not jit. Well, I don't know. I ain't been to a club in years, but nah, that wave is over. You know, we are still wearing those Cartiers though, those yays.
Okay. All right, man. Do you think, man?
That's hilarious, man. Jitting, man. That was all my Detroit and actually Chi-Town people out there. Show me some love on that jitting tip. That's hilarious.
Y'all be getting it in, man.
Yeah, man. All right, big
getting it in.
Appreciate the call.
All right, bro.
All right.
No doubt, man.
So we got another caller on the line. There we go. Okay. Call on the line. It's your boy Crypto Blood. I think we got another New Yorker. At least that area code looks like it.
No. Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Rudy from New York. Yeah, back-to-back New Yorkers.
Back-to-back New Yorkers. How you doing, man, Rudy? How are you today?
Good. Yourself?
I'm pretty good, man. Pretty good. What did you want to call in and talk about today?
Okay.
Or tonight. You're East Coast. You're East Coast with me.
I'm sorry. The thing fades in and out here. First of all, I don't think that anything that George Soros gets involved in is probably any good, but he does know how to make money.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So do you think that's a? I guess the question I've been posing tonight is it good for crypto or is it bad for cryptos as a whole for us, our community?
You see, it makes me nervous for cryptos. And because that's part of the crowd that manipulates things. At least this is how I believe. Right. This is part of the crowd that manipulates things, and even with this Goldman Sachs, I guess, buying a Circle or something, and then buying, I think it was Binance.
Right.
You know, when they get involved, Poloniex. Yeah, thank you. Things tend to get messed up, but they do make money. So maybe if that's what. But I like cryptos. I mean, I love to make the money, but I like the freedom that cryptos gives to the everyday person. I mean, that's pretty much what
that's the juxtaposition we're at, man. I think we're hitting that crossroad where, and that's why I ask people, like, what are you really in the crypto game for? Because if you're in it for the money, you're going to go along with the George Soroses, the regulation, you know what I mean? The Rothschilds are now coming in. You're going to go along with that because you know, and I know, anyone with a half a brain knows if that money comes in, it's going to mean a price appreciation.
Sure, yeah. I agree with that, but I don't think that they're going to allow that to happen without us suffering the freedoms or the loss of the freedom that crypto does give to us. You know. But that's pretty. Oh, I want to make mention. Besides on that George Soros thing, that guy from Fiat Antidote you had on today. He did that interview. That guy's got a good head on his shoulders.
Oh, that's a good guy, man. That's why I had him on. I mean, I think he only has not only, but he's a fairly new channel. He hasn't been able to do videos every day, but he's got like 1,900 subs. But I you know, like I said, I see real and I recognize real, and so I'm always willing to build with people who are on that same wave.
He made a kind of a comment today, or on that interview. I guess somebody said some stuff, or they got mad at him about I don't know what the populist thing or whatever, and brought his family or something. So that ain't too cool.
No, it really isn't, man.
No, that's anyway. One thing I would like to bring up, if you don't mind me going off topic.
Oh, absolutely.
I'd like to get your opinion on something.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I got one other call on the line, so I'm sorry to cut you off. The other caller, just hold fast there. Hold steady. I'm going to get to you. I see you on the line, though. But, yeah, let's talk.
Okay. There's a man by the name of Gerard Salente. You probably heard of him in your travels.
Absolutely. I love Gerard Salente.
Yeah, me too, man. Anyway, he did a thing about a year or so ago called Occupy Peace. And it really didn't get off the ground, I guess. And, was it's funny. He says, we got all this money for war and stuff like that, but no money for peace. Like I guess it wasn't well funded. But I heard him back in December, like around Christmas, New Year's time, and he was talking with he was doing an interview with Jeff Rentz, and during the interview he brought up this thing called like blockchain democracy. Now over the years, Salente has talked about I think it's Sweden or something over there. Like they vote online, and
yes.
I guess what he's saying about this is that maybe we could use blockchain technology here in the States, United States, for us to vote, so that it would put more power back into the people's hands than going through, our senators and congressmen and stuff like that.
Yep.
I was wondering what your opinion on something like that would be. Do you think that could actually work?
Okay, very good question. So just to take it back a few years ago, when I first got into cryptos, I was heavily following Andreas Antonopoulos. This was one of the topics that he threw out there for people to start thinking about, and really helping people understand the power of blockchain. And that was one of the topics of voting, right? So to me, that's the difference between like theory and practice. Theoretically, yes, awesome idea. It would eliminate voting fraud altogether. My issue, or where I see the hurdle, is going to be an actual practice of it. And the reason I say that, yes, on the blockchain we can tell, this person voted and that's it. There's no double voting from that perspective,
right,
from that standpoint. But how do we the gap from the actual people voting?
Yeah.
So the error is on the other side.
System we have.
Right. So you can have 4 or 5 people, the government can still rig it because they can just make up a person with an ID, and I don't know, man. I mean, I guess if you implement something like a civic with it, where each person has to have an ID, and I know that particular person is for sure who they are. And they've been signed, in cryptographically signed, and then they do it, I guess. But then that puts everyone, I don't know, man. I just see the actual implementation of it being a huge issue. The concept, I think, is great.
Kind of like the banksters don't want to give up their money. They're not going to want to give up their ability to vote the way. Anyway,
I just still see fraud in possible fraud in that, because in between assigning a wallet to an individual person, that space right there, that's where the fraud could come in and still make it very possible for manipulation. But I think in theory it's a great idea.
Yeah. Anyway, all right, man. Thanks. I love your show.
All right, man. Thanks from New York, Brody. Thank you.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, call on the line. It's your boy Crypto Blood. Where you calling from?
Hey, it's Don again, West Virginia.
Oh, Don, what's going on?
Hey, just wanted to comment kind of both of the last two calls and then talk about the Soros thing real quick. For the last caller, I just came across an article the other day saying that West Virginia was going to go through a pilot program for blockchain voting.
Okay.
So I didn't get too deep into it. I kind of should have been working at the time, so I just kind of passed over the headline, and I was just like, well, I'm going to come back to this. I haven't got back to it yet. But, you know, something like that may already be in the works and starting.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard a few states. I heard about Illinois playing around with birth certificates and blockchain. So that could be
I heard that.
Yeah, that could be like the beginning part of, you know, having a I don't know, cryptographically signed wallet or whatever to each person as they're born. But again, what stops the corrupt government from creating two, you know what I mean? Like creating another person with the same. So I think there's that disconnect. Like in theory, I think it's a good idea, but in practice, I still think there could be manipulation there.
Now that I've kind of seen it come up twice in the last couple of days, you see something once, you just kind of like, whatever, put it in your back pocket. You see it come up again, you kind of start thinking. And so now I'm starting to think, man, maybe I need to be writing somebody here in the West Virginia and asking what all their plans are. What you know, it wouldn't hurt to write somebody and say, what are you planning on doing with that? Or, you know, I've been in this space for a while. Is there something I can do to help? But it'd be neat to kind of find out what they're planning on doing, because my first take on it is you get congressmen talking about blockchain. I'm sure nobody in that room's got a damn clue what they're talking about, so they could probably use any outside help they could get.
True. That and
secondly,
and go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to change gears, so go ahead.
No, I was just going to make comment on that really quickly. Like, we also got to look at the motivation for them even being interested in something like this. It can't, like, you know what I mean? Like, come on now.
That's true.
They don't want to, because blockchain will allow to give up their freedom. I mean, not their freedom, but give up their control over things.
Right.
So we got to kind of look at that.
And I was just really shocked. Like West Virginia, I'm like, we're behind in just about everything in this nation. What do you mean we're running a pilot program for blockchain? I was just like, nobody's got a clue what they're doing. We'll see what this is about. So I may have to proactively jump on that and see what's going on over there. See if
isn't Langley in West Virginia, or is that Virginia?
That's Virginia, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the CIA headquarters or whatever, Pentagon, whatever it is. So anyway, I was going to respond to your last call. I know I didn't realize you were holding taxes till later on, but I just wanted to tell your last caller, from what I understand, calculating taxes for when you convert into fiat is not the right way to go about that at all.
That's how I understand it as well.
And, you know, it's every transaction, and yes, it's cumbersome and almost impossible to do. But I mean, this is not any sort of advice whatsoever, but if you're going to do it that way, I almost just not report nothing and hope you don't get caught. To me, if you file it wrong, you got an audit trail now, and they can go back within, I don't know what it is, 5 or 7 years or whatever it is, and hang you with that. And if the government wants to crack down on this stuff, they're going to come back and hang you on that. And if you don't report it, you always got as long as you are under 20,000 on Coinbase, I mean, you've always got the chance that you're going to fly under the radar. And, you know, so long as you're not a big pocket player, I mean, that's probably the route I would go. Again, not advice whatsoever. But
no, you make a good point though, and that's the thing. Like blockchain, we say we love it, and we do, but it's a double-edged sword, because it exposes us to every move we've made. So if you're going to report it the right way. You know, like you said, at least I understand it as every transaction, like kind that, you know. So,
I guess it's a gray area on the like kind. We'll talk about it later.
If you want to call back
in, but whatever.
You can call back in when we get
talk
to that
about
point.
Soros quick.
Yeah.
I see your point with the inflationary and people aren't going to spend it. I think that's a very valid point, and I haven't really thought that through, but my first thought was, you know, you're talking about buying a pair of shoes or buying some you're still going to buy your necessities. And I'm kind of like a minimalist. I don't, I'm tight with my money. I don't buy stuff I don't need whatsoever. So this is totally a biased opinion. But I'd like to see a return to people only buying the stuff that they actually need. And that stuff you're going to spend money on anyway. Yeah, that would be a paradigm shift in my opinion.
Right. I think we need an EMP. We need some type of EMP to knock out the grid for that to happen, bro. I don't see that.
Yeah. I mean, if you know your dollar is going to appreciate and you want to hold that as long as you possibly can, maybe you're going to think twice about buying the stuff you don't need. And I mean, me personally, my level, I'd love to see that. I really would. I see so much garbage bought every single day, but that's kind of a whole nother story. I think you're right on the inflationary. It would encourage spending, but
so let's talk about something other than consumer goods. Okay, let's use the scenario of your mortgage, your house. Okay, would you want to spend Bitcoin on paying your mortgage?
Well, would that not be a winning scenario because you're going to be paying it back with a deflationary currency? I mean, so you take out your mortgage for...
I mean, okay, go ahead. You present the scenario.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, you want to pay back the note in inflating currency.
Right.
But I guess here's what I'm thinking is, all right, let me walk this through for a second. So you take out a mortgage and say your mortgage is 10 Bitcoins. Okay, so then you're going to be paying back a Bitcoin that's worth 30,000. Yeah, you don't want to be paying that back in a deflationary currency whatsoever.
You don't. And so that poses the problem. And I was with the whole, let's make Bitcoin and all these crypto, because it's not just Bitcoin, it's all of them, because they have, well, let me see. Dogecoin is, I think they print 5 million a year. But other than that, so we would need a cryptocurrency like a Dogecoin, not Dogecoin, because the branding is, I love Dogecoin, but the branding is just not, you can't be taken seriously. But something like Dogecoin, where every year there's some amount printed.
Well, that would also stabilize the value. It could be, the value could be monitored, but
right.
Yeah, so I have to agree with that. My only question is, in principle, if you're inflating a currency, no matter what, some of your wealth is being robbed from you.
Oh, absolutely.
And so where do you draw the line?
Well, you know, money was never meant to be a store of value, though. I mean, money as we know it today, like you can call gold money, but I'm saying like money as we know it today, you know, buying goods and services, paying your debt down, paying your house, so on and so forth. It was never meant to be a store of value. That's why wealthy people never had a lot of cash. Most of their wealth was in M2, M3, stocks, bonds, real estate, etc., etc. So,
yeah,
I don't know, man.
I'm wondering. See, Bitcoin's still young, and I mean, we can't inflate the supply. We can't do that, but I just don't know from a coding perspective what all is possible, because I know there's a lot of people hung up on they don't like Bitcoin, but they like Bitcoin Cash, but just because of like you say, the microtransactions. But I don't know what the coders and developers of Bitcoin are capable of, and how the core team is going to change over time. So obviously we had a fork into Bitcoin Cash, but I guess that doesn't limit the Bitcoin core team in the future from adopting a protocol such as that, because they see the good in it. It was just, you know, they didn't take it this time. But
no, it doesn't. But the longer they wait, though, the harder it will be, because in order to make a change like that, everyone on the network has to upgrade. And so the more Bitcoin gets utilized, the harder it will be for people to upgrade to the new version.
Well, I suppose the core developers too they could just sit back and watch how Bcash and Litecoin go about doing the micropayments, and kind of let them be a guinea pig for the whole thing.
I mean, even Bcash isn't like any of them. I saw someone say use Litecoin to pay your bills. Litecoin's in the same scenario. It's the same situation. It may have 3 times as many coins or whatever it is. I can't remember the total supply right now.
Four times,
right? But that's still it will still appreciate maybe 4 times slower. I don't know what. This is all an experiment, man. So I don't know at what point, you know, we can have something where it's just slightly deflationary, kind of borderline, you know, maybe right in the middle, or just a little bit inflationary. I
wonder if something happens down the line, and you know, my tech knowledge is limited, so I wonder if something happens down the line with the cost of mining due to the cost of the cost of mining and the actual value of a Bitcoin. If something up there near the top causes stability in the value, and you know, so like once we get near like 20 million, or you know, some are lost. Let's assume there's 21 million out there, or will be. Once we get up to like 20 million, does the production of new coins, is it so expensive that you actually stabilize in value? No, you're not going to inflate, but would you actually stabilize such that, you know, tomorrow the same basket of goods would be the same as it was today?
I don't know. I know the next halving will make it less profitable for the miners. So, you know, every halving theoretically should push the price of that asset up, you know, Bitcoin up. So it balances out. So where even though they're getting half as many Bitcoins per block reward, the price should have doubled or more by then, or you know, you get what I'm saying? So it will kind of even out. But
yeah,
this is a huge experiment, man, and you know, I don't know, man.
We'll see. Curious to see where it goes as we get closer to that. I mean, probably won't be in my life. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know when they're expecting, like 2140 or something like that.
Yeah, it won't be. Yeah, we'll be gone to Satoshi heaven by then.
Yeah, we'll be wild. It'll sure be a wild ride.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Doug. Right?
Well,
Don from West Virginia calling in again. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, we may see you in the taxes topic.
Yeah, call back in, definitely, because I don't have many callers tonight. I got one on the line now. All right, thanks, Don. Caller on the line, it's your boy Crypto Blood. Talk to me. Caller, you there? I know you've been waiting for a long time, so may have me on mute. Caller, are you there? Let's see here. Caller on the line?
Yep.
It's your boy Crypto Blood. Talk to me. What's going on? Sorry about that.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, great.
That was
Chris from Northern California.
Bad.
Thanks a lot for all. Yeah, no problem. Hey, thanks a lot for the great channel. I really appreciate it. I listen to it all the time.
Oh, great, man. You're calling from California. Your name again? I'm sorry.
Chris.
All right, Chris. What's on your mind tonight?
So, I've been a small-time miner of Gridcoin for about 3 years, and I've just been really disappointed in how little coverage it's been getting, because it actually takes, that proof of work algorithm from Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And it turned it to be so that the crypto Gridcoin can accept proof of work via scientific projects, like BOINC projects, Berkeley Open Infrastructure for Network Computing.
Okay.
And I've just wondered, now they did have some problems recently. It is because of the nature of validating people's donated work to BOINC and then paying you in crypto. And then additionally, in the Gridcoin crypto, and then additionally giving you some interest payments. It's a pretty complicated algorithm. But man, the coin is down at 3 cents, and it costs at least 5 cents a coin to mine. And I just wanted to know your thoughts about that, because it is such a cool coin. Like, it takes that whole problem where, all that make work of guessing the hashes, the nonces, is instead of doing all that make work, it actually does useful work, you know, scientific work, whether it be mapping the Milky Way or doing chemical folding to find cures for cancer, all kinds of different scientific.
I think I remember. How long has Gridcoin been out?
A number of years. I don't know exactly how long.
I remember either something similar to this or this particular project. I remember. Very good concept, man, because to be honest with you, I've got the website up now. To be honest with you, you know, this whole mining with Bitcoin and even all the other ones, GPU mining, it's a waste of resources, honestly.
I think so. I mean, there are people who aren't concerned with it, and I hear them because it is great that we have Bitcoin and Litecoin and all that good stuff, but I think this is an improvement. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, I remember. Again, I don't know if it was this project, but I do recall a project years back that was doing this, where they were the computing or computational power was being used for actual something of benefit. And we do, man. We need to start thinking about these things, because if you look at the numbers as far as Bitcoin, and if it continues to grow at this pace or even faster, it's going to take up so much energy, man. It's just not even going to be, I don't know, like it doesn't seem productive. It seems counterproductive. Yeah,
I think Gridcoin is a solid coin because, as far as I understand, I could be wrong on this, I think they forked initially they started with a fork of Bitcoin, so that it's using really pretty tried and true code. And
so it's using SHA. Is it using SHA-256?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't do the proof of work, so they're not going to be guessing SHA-256s, but it uses everything around that. The whole framework is similar. I don't know the technical details on it though.
Okay.
I can say that mining it has been pretty fun. If you have like say like I happen to have a bare metal server that I run at a colo facility,
mm-hmm.
and it's sitting there on a fixed fee per month for all the electric that I use.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I can do is just run Boink there in the background, and if the server gets busy, then Boink goes to sleep.
Right.
And then, yep. So see, my Boink account points to my Gridcoin, so then I can kind of amortize off my costs that way, because I pay a flat fee anyway.
Right.
So for people doing that, it could be a good deal for them. You know, make them a few dollars or save them a few dollars, depending on how you look at it per month.
Is this is this project, is this coin quantum resistant?
I don't think so. I don't know if it would have the same. I think all its validation is really the same type of thing that's done in Bitcoin.
Okay.
So I wouldn't know about that. I will say that during the run up, the coin got up to 21 cents, I believe,
mm-hmm.
which is that's actually making a little money. But the community is really good. Whenever I needed support on the chat, which now is on a Telegram.
Okay.
For instance, people are always there to help me out. So you know, if anybody's thinking about it, it's just something I wanted to put out there, because you know, you talk to a lot of different really important projects, and I'm sure in the future you'll have some interesting thoughts on it.
Yeah,
well.
yeah, that'll have to be something I research and maybe have it be a topic for next week, because that is a serious concern. I haven't talked about it much, but that seriously is an issue, man, with the current way Bitcoin is growing and it's set up. It's going to be an issue unless we hack into Antarctica and get that free energy that Tesla.
Yeah.
Tesla created.
Definitely. You know, it's actually got right now on the order of like 1 or 2 standard supercomputers of power, cranking away on these cool science projects. And
nice.
I'm sure not everyone would love every single science project, but there's something on there for everybody.
Gotcha.
And you can if you browse to the website, it'll give you a link to the Boink site. And I've actually been running Boink since 2000. I had my first job in computer, and I just started running SETI at home, which is what that does is it parses the radio telescope signals
that
they collect the Arecibo in Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
And looks for patterns uses a fast Fourier transform to look for patterns of intelligent that may indicate that intelligent life sent a message.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started with that, and I still do a little bit of that one. But different projects use different approaches. Like some of them are good if you have, like workstation grade graphics cards like I do,
mm-hmm.
then you can do Milky Way and get a little bit more bang for your buck. But there's some good guides on Steemit for how to optimize.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna definitely link drop this in this video for people to take a look at. Someone said, John Hill said you're shilling Gridcoin. I don't think he's shilling Gridcoin. It sounds like a passionate a project with purpose, man. We don't have many of those right now in this space, so that's good, man. I'm gonna look back into that and spread the word. I will spread the word.
That's cool, man. Thank you so much.
All right, man. Thanks for calling in.
All right, keep up the good work.
All right, thank you. All right, people. So that's pretty good, man. I'm interested in that. Again, I remember some project years ago that was doing this. I don't know if it was Gridcoin. I can't remember. There's so many freaking coins and tokens out here, people. It's gonna drive me crazy. But yeah, man, good conversation with my man Don out in West Virginia about this here cryptocurrencies being used as an actual currency. And yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with the devil. I mean George Soros regarding cryptocurrencies not being used as currency because of its volatility and value spikes and stuff. So I don't know, we'll see. But the next article, and I'm glad I brought this up, guys, because I'm gonna drop this link. I have a poll. All right, I want you guys to take this poll. Everyone, we've got 66 viewers in the chat room. Hopefully everyone will take this poll. Let me drop that in the room right now. So give me a second while I grab that so you guys can vote while I talk. So here's the link, guys. I'm dropping it in there now. Go there and vote. And basically what that poll is having you select 3 of the top coins, ERC20 coins you think will be on Coinbase. Coinbase has announced that they are starting to work on accepting or allowing users to trade ERC20 tokens on GDAX, I believe, and Coinbase. So let's see what you guys say, and I'll pull up the poll in a little while, but go ahead and vote. But yeah, man, we've got some ERC20 tokens coming to Coinbase. What do you guys think about that? I was actually kind of shocked to see Coinbase say that they would be adding ERC20 tokens, because it's kind of a double exposure on the Ethereum blockchain. Okay, give me 1 second, guys. Everyone's saying the link is not working. Let me see something here. All right, give me a second, guys. I will grab that link for you. Thought that link would work. So let's see here, forms. Let's see here. try this again, people. Just give me 1 second, please. Copy, and let's do this again. Let me know if this works this time, guys. Ah, that one's not working either. Wonder why. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. Not sure why this is not working, people. Had this all ready to rock and roll. View previous. So I'll have to figure out. I was hoping to do that with you guys. That would have been interesting to be able to view that. I don't know why. It's a bummer why that's not working. But I'll continue to talk and try to get that up. But go ahead, guys. I'm gonna put that number back up there. So yeah, what do you guys think? Which coins or tokens will be on the list for Coinbase? I don't know, man. I think 0x seems like it may be a possibility. Definitely seems like that may be a possibility, but I'm not too sure which ones. There are a few of them. Well, I will say this though. EOS can't be, because we all know that EOS is an ERC20 token right now. So the addition of EOS would have to be after the fact. It would have to be after the fact, people. Let me see here. Copy. Let me try this link here, people. Give me 1 second. Okay, let's try this link, guys. Let me know if this will work. If this doesn't work, we'll just have to D Davos, what's going on? Does that work? Okay, thank you. Great. So go ahead and cast your votes for that one. I was trying to use Google shortener, URL shortener, but that for whatever reason I guess messed it up. So go ahead, cast those votes, and we'll take a look at that. I'm going to go back to the actual article, and we'll take a look at this article here. It says Coinbase is poised to list its first new crypto asset of 2018, and one coin that's unlikely to make that list is Ripple. Yay, I'm glad. It says here the U.S. exchange, whose CEO, Brian Armstrong, is known for his love of all things Ethereum, has all but confirmed that its next additions will be ERC20 tokens. 0x and REP, or REP, Arger's native token, surge in price as investors hone in on the likeliness of the tokens getting on the exchange. So yeah, I put Ken on. Hey man, I was just trying to go for some of them. I'm not gonna lie, aren't gonna make it, but I'm just throwing out there for thrills. I know it'll tickle some of your fancies for sure. We know some of those are definitely not going to make the list. But it says here, new Coinbase listings cause a ripple. Cryptocurrency traders have been starved of positive news for weeks. Thus, they leaped on the news released Monday evening that Coinbase was set to list new tokens. The last time U.S. exchange added a new asset was back in December, and that, of course, we all know was Bitcoin Cash. This is what they wrote here. It says, we're excited to announce our intention to support the Ethereum ERC20 technical standard for Coinbase in the coming months. This paves the way for supporting ERC20 assets across Coinbase products in the future, though we aren't announcing support for any specific assets or features at this point. So, man, come on, guys. I put PPT and I put, what other one did I put on there? We know they're not going to add Vary because it's just not even, that's not what, Reggie didn't even create that. It's not even supposed, it's not a token. It's like a software. That's not going to be on there for sure. But hey, let me look at that poll really quickly, see where we're at, people. So OMG is leading. Wow. Number 2, PPT. Number 3, Vary. You guys, I put these on here just to clickbait you guys. Let's see, number 4, BAT. I think BAT has a chance. I'm surprised you guys got number 5 as 0x. I'm pretty surprised at that. So I'll jump back and check that out. Only got 17 responses. Come on, people. Let me drop that in there again for you. Go ahead and vote. Vote. All right, as you guys vote, let me take this caller here. Call on the line. It's your boy Crypto Blood. What's good?
Blood, it's Don again. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're good. Hey, I have nobody on, so this is good, man.
Yeah, I apologize, but like everything you're saying is just like been on my mind, so gotta get it off here.
Absolutely.
We got to talk about utility tokens. Maybe this is a rookie question. Maybe there's something I'm missing. But all right, so you got these tokens. You need Vary to use Vary. You need PPT to use PPT. All these tokens. Is that not adding a layer of complexity rather than just saying, okay, Pillar comes out, and to use the Pillar wallet, you got to use a currency such as Litecoin or Bit. Okay, so maybe there's a conversion. Maybe you can use Litecoin, but behind the scenes it switches it to Pillar, and then you got the Pillar to use the wallet. But is there something I'm missing here? I mean,
not really.
In terms of,
not really, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. Not really, in my opinion. It is adding another step to an already complicated method or way of doing things. So I think what companies are trying to do is create their own ecosystems. So where, you know, almost like, I don't know if you've ever used like stock photo websites.
No.
Okay, so with a stock photo website, you buy credits. So, you know, you have to buy credits in lots. So maybe you can only buy a minimum of 5 credits, but maybe a picture only costs 1 credit or 2 credits, but it kind of makes you buy more than what you need at that particular time.
Gotcha.
Maybe they'll start doing that, but even that, I mean, all the tokens can be purchased on exchanges. So I don't know, man. I think it's just like the internet boom craze thing going on.
So I'm just trying to get a feel for the end game. I mean,
yeah,
like,
because a lot of them you can just use Ethereum.
And this whole thing makes it so blatantly obvious that this was just a fundraising event and you're hoping for token appreciation.
Yeah.
Because I don't see why you would need to use Pillar to use the Pillar wallet. I mean, would you not want this to be as easy as possible for people to get in? Would you not want people to just be able to use Bitcoin and Litecoin to run your software or whatever it is? It's adding a layer of complexity, and I hate that. And I just wonder what the end game is. So getting back to the point of what is Coinbase going to add, it seems really silly to list like utility tokens if we don't really know what the future of those is going to be.
Yeah. I agree. I was kind of shocked to see Coinbase add or say that they're going to add support for ERC20 tokens. To me, it just, I don't know. It's this double exposure, because if, God forbid, you know, you have Ethereum network go down, then any token associated or rides on top of Ethereum network will also be useless at that particular time.
Right, but on the same point, you know, they're trying to make money, and people are seeing a demand for ERC20, so they're gonna just, I guess, cater to the masses. I don't know. It's kind of a weird. I could see where you'd offer a bunch of different currencies, but like utility tokens, I don't know. I just don't see what they're doing, and I don't know the future of them. Because I don't know that we're going to need them. Even like I said, Pillar, if they had something running in the background, if they said you need Pillar, if they had something running in the background where you came to that wallet with Litecoin and just, you technically paid in Litecoin, but they ran a conversion, and it was seamless, you never even knew, then that's, I guess, I don't know. I guess that's a use case for the Pillar token. I'm just not sold on these use cases. Don't get me wrong, I hold some of them, but I'm just kind of baffled.
I hold some of them too. I hold a decent amount of ERC20 tokens as well, man. And you're right. I mean, I've thought about it in the past, but I guess just out of the hype of everything, kind of just overlooked it. Maybe some of you guys in the chat room can chime in on this. Is there really a use case for utility tokens? Are we all just in a Twilight Zone and fooling ourselves? Is this the greater fool theory? Let us know. I don't know. I'm kind of with you there, man. You know, many of these tokens really aren't necessary. Because if you actually want it to be seamless and usable for the end user, why add that additional layer of complexity?
Exactly. Especially Pillar, whose big idea is simplicity, which I love that about him. I mean, I personally think Pillar, if his stuff goes right, I see him being the next Apple, but that's if his stuff goes right. I love,
like you said, what is the point of the actual token? I'm not trying to pick on Pillar. This is all of them, for at least most of them. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What's the actual point of the actual token that they have? Especially
if the SEC comes out, or CFTC, or whoever the hell decides to regulate this, and they say that these utility tokens are kind of taboo and they're no good, then what happens to all that? I mean, obviously the value goes down to nothing, and the projects all get defunded, and I don't know. And then you got Coinbase with them sitting out there being sold on their platform, and they all go to zero. I don't know. I just think it's a really, really sketchy thing. And then Coinbase comes out and says that they're only going to add the most vetted projects and sustainable and whatever else. You know, they said they're very cautious about what they add, but I don't know, man. I'm lost on the use case. I love the projects. I love contributing to their funding and getting the projects rolling, but I just don't see it. And nobody talks about it.
They don't. We don't. And I'm glad you bring this up, man, because these are the types of topics and issues we need to have real conversations about. Daryl Leckers, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, says Civic is necessary, a layer to get vetted. So I guess with Civic, you will need their token to somehow get vetted. But again, honestly, so basically for me, man, it's like this. If I can't replace your token, with Ethereum, then it's not necessary. And nine times out of 10, we don't need most of them. Now you take a project like Spectre, right? They have a dividend token where you actually get paid for holding, because you need those tokens to actually get a piece of the revenue every week or 2 weeks or whatever.
That makes sense.
So
I guess
that makes sense. I haven't
thought it through, but
yeah, I mean that makes sense. It's a dividend token. Now tokens.
Okay. Well, let's say this. Let's say it's something like EOS, and let's say instead of holding a token, let's just say you bought Spectre or we're using Spectre, or you using Litecoin, and you just registered as a funder or user or holder. I mean, could you not just do it that way? Maybe register something on the blockchain so you can pass that ownership. I mean, I don't know why you need to be holding a token. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you bring a good point up. That's true. You could technically utilize Bitcoin, Litecoin, or even possibly
I just feel
Ethereum.
like all these projects, no matter what their use case is, I just feel like almost anything comes back to using a currency. So why add that layer in? I mean, especially,
you could do profit,
going out to
like
these
you said,
exchanges.
I mean, it's more of, it's definitely a reach for the utility side. I do somewhat see a dividend token being necessary, but then again, as you stated, you can circumvent that and just basically, well, the dividend token, I think you do need their proprietary or their own token to really utilize that in those scenarios. But I was going to say something. There was something I was going to say, and I lost my train of thought about it. I hope I get that back, but maybe I need to take a bump.
If you get it back, let me hear it. I just I think if when you were interviewing David Siegel there, I mean, it would have been an interesting question. Like, David, what really is the use case? And you'd come back and say, we use Pillar in order to use our wallet. And you just kind of come back and be like, wait, what? I mean, why can't I just use Litecoin to use your wallet?
Yeah.
I don't know. All right.
I mean, people are saying that it's the tokenization. One guy just said every good and service and commodity will be tokenized, but couldn't everything be represented as an Ethereum token or a Bitcoin? I don't know. Oh, I remember now. I remember what I was going to say.
Go ahead.
EOS is different because it's almost like you'll need to EOS is delegated proof of stake, so you'll need those tokens, their coins, to actually do things on the network. So if I want to spin up a website on the EOS blockchain, I have to lock up on the network X amount of EOS coins to do my or run my application, my DApp, my decentralized app.
Well, that's kind of how I hear PPT and Very are going to be used, is you got to lock up your tokens. But I still don't understand why you couldn't use a currency. I mean, think about the dollar. We use the dollar to buy everything anywhere. We don't have to exchange our dollar for something else and exchange it for something else. I mean, this new system is supposed to be better than the old system. And if you got 1,500 tokens, that you want to do something different, and you got to get a different token for everything you want to do, that is in no way, shape, or form more efficient. I mean, that's
right. And there will be, kind of atomic swap type situation set up on Ethereum. So you theoretically will be able to swap instantly for other tokens and stuff. So I don't know, man. It does cause much more friction than is necessary. And that, I mean, you bring a good point up. So Daily Dash says this, he brings up a good point. He says, let me see where I can find his comment. He said most of these projects have utility that have utility tokens are because they just needed to raise money. It's because they just needed to raise money. So that kind of goes right with what you said.
It's becoming more and more obvious the more you kind of get to thinking about, why am I using a token? It was very obviously just to, like you said, create their own economy and raise funds without going through a regulatory process. And I don't know. I'm just at a blank. That's what it was. It was raising funds.
Hey, man. Thank you for bringing that up. Let's have a dialogue about that, people in the chat room. Bring up your your thoughts about that. We got another caller. Call me back though when we get back to the what are we, taxes, right? I think you wanted to chime in on that.
Maybe, yeah.
All right, so
all right, we'll talk to you.
Call back in. All righty. Call on the line. It's your boy Crypto Blood. Who's calling in?
Crypto Blood. This is Mr. Organic.
Mr. Organic, how are you today? Yes, sir.
Doing good, doing good. So you guys actually just figured out the part of the reason why the tokens are important. 1 second. Sorry. So
you're good.
The whole issue is, if a company is going to have and be autonomous from another company, it needs to have some way to differentiate the branding, the company image, all the different aspects of it. So the whole point of having different tokens on Ethereum is that Ethereum's the platform that everyone knows, everyone trusts the software on the on the platform, and then the companies have to develop their brand on top of it.
Okay. But is it or do you think that I can't develop? Is one needed without the other? I guess is what I'm saying. Do we really need? Can I develop my brand on the Ethereum blockchain and use Ethereum?
Well, I mean, how I see it is that you have Bitcoin. That's for holding value. You have Litecoin. That's for your day-to-day, transactions. Bitcoin Cash. That's probably going to be something that's more for, that has Lightning networks that should be, competing with Litecoin.
Right.
But the whole thing is with Ethereum, it's a smart contract. It's not currency. It can be used to transfer value. But for instance, I'm developing one of these tokens right now to tokenize compost and soil. So
But see, that's more representative of a commodity, though. That's a physical.
Well, exactly.
I can understand that. I understand that part.
Like Sandcoin.
Yeah, I can understand tokenizing a commodity, a physical asset. That's cool, but do we need it? I guess that what Don was saying from West Virginia is that is it really a need for a token for every project? I guess is what he's saying.
No, not all the projects. If you're going to use the technology as part of your projects, like for instance, I have someone wants to they have a bunch of green waste. They want to get it composted. I can go up to them and say, "Here, we have these tokens. We're going to stake them. This person wants to fund this composting operation. We'll take these 10,000 yards when the contract is done, and we've bagged it. We have it on pallets." Then the smart contract will complete, and then the tokens will go to the property owner, and they can do whatever they want with them. They can change for Bitcoin, for Litecoin. They can have a bank account, and then that way they're secured in what they're doing. We have an ecosystem inside the business to facilitate that. That is, you don't have to worry about trusting people. So that's kind of what I see the use case for the Ethereum being slightly separate. What you would have with Litecoin and Bitcoin.
Let me ask you this though: what about a non-commodity based business transactions? Is it necessary to have tokens? Like
what?
Let's use. I don't want to pick on a company, so I'm trying to think of one that's really not that's in my space as far as projects I talk about. What's one we can talk about?
Just talk about the use case. Doesn't mean you don't have to say a name.
Okay.
I'm pretty familiar with most of them.
Okay, so to use a particular app, they have a DApp or whatever. Is it necessary for me to have that token? Like, yeah, they're making me have it to actually utilize some of the features and functionality that may be on that platform. But at the end of the day, couldn't that just be used? Couldn't I just pay Ethereum, whatever the 0.5 Ethereum, to use your services and goods?
Well, yeah, I mean, what I see is we're at the beginning stages of this, but there is going to have to be a layer where you go to the platform, you have your Ethereum, like you're talking about earlier, like the other caller said, you have Litecoin loaded up, and then you just on demand get the coins and tokens you need at the point of sale or whenever you need them. So I think that's going to be dealt with in the future through using the tokens we have now to differentiate the different companies, but be able to have that seamless layer between not having to have all these tokens in your wallet, having them on an exchange. I mean, this is just testing. This is not something I see in the future at all. So that's my point. That's my
okay. I got another. Here's a scenario. I don't really talk. So I use Steemit, right? I use Steemit all the time. And people upvote me, and I get Steam bucks, right? Couldn't they just pay me every time I get an upvote? I get paid in
Litecoin,
in big cash. I mean, I guess.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's harder for you to try to
monetize that, right?
Make money out of nothing. So they're not. I mean,
right.
I don't know.
Yep.
I don't want to say like have my own personal opinion on something, but how I see it is, what let's not get into steaming. But yeah, there's some issues with that.
No, we can talk about it.
I have respect for all people in the space because everyone's testing out different scenarios and seeing what works. So, if the Steam platform here, let's go with this. There's good and bad things and everything. What's really good about Steam is that it's getting people to think about monetizing smaller interactions. So if you comment, if you upvote, that kind of thing. I think that's cool because then that allows the attention market to be more of it's testing to see how an attention-based market will work.
Right.
How I see it.
Right.
So you're rewarded for what you pay attention to.
So what's the bad though? Let's talk about it, man. No holds bar here.
Okay. Here, 1 second. Here, let me. I have some food cooking and it's about to burn. Let me call you right back.
Go ahead. Call me back. All right. Let me get to the other caller. All right.
All right.
Caller on the line. It's your boy Crypto Blood. Hope you ain't got food I hope you don't have food in the oven like my other caller.
No, no, I'm good.
All right.
It's Blockchain Nation.
Blockchain Nation. See, I saw you in the chat room. Yeah. What's going on, bro?
Yeah, man. Well, I wanted to jump on the whole utility token idea that you guys were talking about.
Okay.
Because another guy in the chat, I think Your Daily Hash, was talking about it too. The idea of obviously the token is a way to buy equity into whatever the project is. And I think it's kind of at a stage now where it's so early that everything's kind of awkward and no one really knows how it's going to work best, but everyone's just trying to jump on the train.
Yep.
But I think the way that I see it is it's a way to buy equity in a company the way that you would buy stocks in a public company. But instead of being traded on the market, it's almost like having a private company, or where you can get into a pre-IPO round for a company, but it allows the public to get in at that stage. So what that does is it allows them to distribute equity to individuals and not necessarily VC firms or
that's
people
the
with
problem,
a lot of money.
I mean, that's the problem that I see with that. I agree with you that we're treating them as equity, right? The problem is I don't have any
dangerous.
No, I don't have any say so. Like if I own a decent amount of Coca-Cola, enough that I can call in and I'm on the board or whatever, I can voice my opinion. I can, I actually do have a share of that company. And so the value of that company, the value of that share is reflected in price per earnings, so on and so forth, yada yada. You kind of get where I'm going with that. So with the token, I don't own any right to make any decision of the future of that company.
Yeah, and you don't necessarily have the right to make decisions. I think the one thing that it's sold on is you have the accessibility to profits when the company has a project, so to speak, does well, that you share in the earnings. At least in the valuation side, it's not like you're getting dividends.
Only if we see a direct translation of that token, a demand for that token to be utilized on the platform. But if there's no need for utilization on that platform, then no, it has absolutely no value. And so that's
exactly. It's just like the XRP debate.
Yeah, like
or not even debate.
Right. So that's something we need to have a conversation about. So it's
and I'm not necessarily saying I think it's all a good thing. I think, like I said, it's at a really awkward stage where people are just running for money. But I think the thing is, I think people get excited about it because they get access to this potential upside that we haven't seen before. Like, because that's one thing that struck me is people are wondering why you're seeing such huge gains in crypto that you don't see in traditional stock markets. But by the time like Facebook went public, all of the gains had already happened. There were people that got in at $1 million valuation, and they they saw exponential gains.
Yep.
The general public hasn't seen it until cryptos came on the scene.
Right.
So,
no.
But it's also just.
I was talking
it's just as dangerous because.
Go ahead.
It's just as dangerous because when VC funds know how to do their homework and they know what they're getting into, the general public is just going to jump on anything that looks good.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So there's a lot more danger. You know, there's a reason that you're supposed to be an accredited investor. So.
Well, that's a whole nother subject because I can see that, but at the same time, I feel like we don't need a governmental a regulatory agency protecting us, because they really not protecting us. They allow us to buy penny stocks over the counter. You know, that's very speculative. Yeah, so I don't know. But yeah, man, I mean, you bring up a good point. I think that we're getting to that point where now it's show and tell. Like, you know, Populous is one where you do hold the token, and there's some revenue that will be some dividends, kind of, if you want to call it, will come from that. There are a few that have them. Spectre is another one, but you know, I think we need to really examine a lot of these projects, and is there any really room or need for the actual token, or was it really just a fundraise? You know.
Yeah. Now, one thing that I thought about that I haven't been able to bounce off too many people, it sounds like you might get, is the idea of basically a dividend, so to speak. And I think a lot of people are familiar with compound interest being the eighth wonder of the world, or what have you. But I don't think a lot of people realize that if you're just appreciating in value of whatever asset you're holding, that's really not compound interest. Your compound interest comes when you start getting dividends or passive income.
Yeah.
So for me personally, I'm trying to look at tokens that are either going to provide, and you have to be careful here, but the things that are going to provide that are lending tokens, proof of stake tokens, things where your holdings are actually going to grow in value and in quantity. So
yes,
you know, that's
and honestly,
way to look at it.
No, I mean, that's a smart way to look at it, and there are many contrarian individuals out there in the equities space that only buy dividend stocks, because they feel like if you take a scenario like Apple, they don't pay a dividend. I don't think. What are you really holding? You're just holding for the hope that price per earnings per share goes up and it reflects in the actual stock. But like you said, dividend stocks will actually, that compound interest is where the magic is. So I agree.
Yeah. And I mean, that's going to be interesting to see how all of that plays in with everything in the crypto space, because, you know, like we're saying now, especially when there's over 1,000 altcoins, and you know, how many of them have either the same use case or no use case at all, you know, a lot of that's going to change. But I think once all that settles down and people start to figure out what's actually useful and what isn't, and how it's going to function and how you're going to pay on the ecosystem, then I think that dividend type aspect is going to be an important thing for people to look at as far as an investment perspective.
Right. Yeah, I think, man, you're right. And a lot of projects are probably, and we all know this year, a lot of projects are probably going to go to zero. They're going to get slaughtered. Because we're starting to kind of figure this all out. Like you said, this is a new frontier. We're at the start of this whole experiment, if you want to call it. But it's going to, valuations are going to definitely come down, and the good ones are going to stay around, and the ones that really don't have no value will go away.
Yeah, definitely. Well, man, I'm loving the show. Yours are probably my favorite live stream. There are a lot of guys doing TA and things out there, which is helpful. But definitely appreciate having a community to go to that's kind of talking about some of the serious issues. So always appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thank you for your input, man. That's good stuff that you brought up tonight. So appreciate the call, and make sure to call in next time.
For sure, man. Have a good one.
All righty. So yeah, people, let's take a look at that poll really quickly. And we are, wow, OMG is leading the pack. Interesting to see OMG. I would have picked OMG as one for sure. Let's get those votes up though, people. We only got 23 votes. I'm gonna drop that link in the chat room once again. And let's see what you guys think about Coinbase. Which ERC20 tokens will they launch once their infrastructure for ERC20 tokens is complete? Which ones do you think they'll add? So go ahead and make that vote. Click that link, and let's see what you guys think. I thought someone asked why isn't Salt on there. Oh, Salt is on there. Salt is there, so you can vote for Salt. Yep. So back to what we were talking about. Kind of talked about this, so I'll let you guys go ahead and vote on which tokens you think, ERC20 tokens you think will be on Coinbase in the near future. I'm not too sure. I was actually surprised just in general that they were going to offer or add ERC20 tokens. I think they're just looking at the money. It's going to be a lot of money to be made with them adding ERC20 support. A lot of money. So the last but definitely not least, the last subject tonight, guys. Taxes. What do you guys, it's coming up April 17th. Better pay those taxes. What do you guys think about the tax situation? How are you guys going to claim your gains? Or is it going to be from crypto to fiat only, or are you going to do each transaction? As from what I understand, and I've talked to a couple of crypto tax specialists, that is the proper way. I don't know, people. You gotta let me know. Give me a call, 669-900-6833. Don, you can call back in if you would like. But I don't know, man. There's a lot of, even from professionals, you know, so-called professionals, tax accountants and all that good stuff. It's not that they're not knowledgeable about taxes. It's just that this is such a new space, and it seems like the laws or guidelines for this is very ambiguous. So this article out of Bitcoin.com says tax-paying Americans owe $25 billion in cryptocurrency. Wow. Tax season in the U.S. is here, and many citizens who use or hold cryptocurrencies are clamoring around trying to figure out how to file their capital gains taxes. According to the reports from Fundstrat's analyst Tom Lee, cryptocurrencies represent roughly 20% of last year's capital gains. Wow, that's pretty big. It says here, cryptocurrency selling pressure stemming from tax-related sales. I didn't think about that. I don't know. I guess you could come to that conclusion. We'll get back to this article, but first we got a caller on the line. Caller on the line. It's your boy Crypto Blood.
Don again.
Don. All right, bro. So let's talk about this tax thing.
All right. So let's talk about taxes. My first issue was like this, and maybe I missed this somewhere. Help me out. All right, so crypto really got pretty hot in 17, and they came out with regulation right in the like November-ish area of 17. Do you have any knowledge of that being retroactive for 17? I mean, how are people expected to keep records for things that were not taxable events at the time?
So from my understanding, and this is just my understanding, is not advice or anything like that or whatever. Sure. I actually think them saying that crypto was considered capital gains was before 17. I believe that was way back in 16 or 15 that they came out with their first statement, and they updated it a little bit last year, like you said, but they had already said that they ruled cryptocurrencies as an asset, or it would be looked at as a capital gains. Right. So
yeah, if they're going to call it capital gains, then I mean, I hate to say this, but the way they're approaching it seems exactly right, in my opinion, in that every transaction is a taxable event because you've got a basis in one asset.
Right.
And even if you trade that to another one, you're realizing a gain or loss on that transaction as you move it into another one. Right. And the like kind exchange thing, that it's a gray area. It semi sort of passes the test for like kind exchange, but that until that's ruled on, that's a no-go for me.
Yeah. It's like swapping like a home for a home. Like if I'm giving you my home and you're giving me yours, but there's a value difference, there's a taxable event, right?
Well, and there could be a utility difference. I mean, you've got these utility tokens that are doing different things, and these security tokens that are doing different things, and they may not actually be the same thing.
Yeah, they didn't even get that far. That's a whole nother. You're right, though.
But you can see where it's going.
Absolutely.
And they could absolutely tear someone apart over the like kind exchange, if they're using that. And if they're looking to make revenue, which they should be, it's their job. They should be, they'll kind of let this year go as they figure it out, but later on they're going to come back and grill you on this stuff, and they're going to get theirs. So that's why I said before, I mean, not advice whatsoever. You're almost better off not doing anything than to do something wrong.
Yeah, man.
I'm
curious to know what everyone is going to do. I mean, you don't have to dry snitch, but would you guys out there listening, would you be claiming these as from crypto to fiat as that taxable event, or are you taking every transaction, as I understand it, that's how you should be doing it? But let me know what you guys think. This guy says here, here's a quote from the article. It says, if this is correct, we should see improved dynamics after April 15th. We still like Bitcoin and large caps. And while we believe the bear market for altcoins is largely over, we do not see an upside for altcoins until mid-August. So I guess they were talking about, do you think, let me ask you this, Don, do you think that the selling pressure that we saw coming into the year had something to do with taxes?
I don't think it did, because we started December 17th with the Mount Gox. It was the futures. We started right there at the same day the futures was launched. So I don't know that. That's a good question.
Mount Gox actually started selling in December as well. We didn't find out about it until like last month or so, but they started selling.
That's true. Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess I can't say that I think it was taxes, because if you're like me, you're waiting until April, and so you're not going to sell off in January. Of course,
right.
I guess if you were contemplating the run, then yeah, you would have sold off at the higher, I suppose.
But honestly,
things.
This puts people in pretty bad situation right now, because
but it depends if you're holding or trading. If you're trading, you're in a really bad spot. But if you're just holding, then you don't got a problem.
Right, but yeah, like you said, that's true. Now, if you are trading like many people have at least done a little bit here and there, if you have to claim taxes on what you did last year and the value of those assets have dropped, we've seen 70%, up to 90%. We've seen a lot of these crypto assets drop this year. That puts people in a very sticky situation.
Yeah, it sure does. I'm just thinking about all the ICOs that I may or may not have participated in, and even ETH, even converting ETH, for crying out loud, is ETH at an ICO, and I don't know. To me, that's getting back to my last call. Do these utility tokens need to exist? I mean, if these tokens didn't exist, then I don't know, is that a taxable event? If all these tokens, if all these ICOs just took Litecoin or Bitcoin instead of a token swap, did we have yeah, I mean, I guess we still had a taxable event, because even with these micropayments, every time you buy a cup of coffee, you got a taxable event.
Right. So we're not even set up. This is a hot mess, man. Cryptocurrencies can't be used. Yeah, I didn't even think about it like that, Don. So, you're so legislation is definitely going to have to change, because as it stands right now, using any crypto as a means of purchase, any goods, any consumer goods would be just idiotic to do, because you're getting double taxed all around. It's just going to be crazy. So.
Well, that's kind of 2 points. One, what was one's micropayments. Trying to think what my other point was. We're hurting ourselves on the price appreciation, because, as you stated, you want velocity of currency to increase, and by us just hodling over here, we're not spending any of this money. We're not doing ourselves any favor in using a currency as a currency. So, in terms of price appreciation, the less we use it, the less good it looks as a currency. So I guess to agree with Soros, right?
Yeah. I hate to.
But my but my other, so we all sit back here and hoard our cryptos and wonder why the price isn't appreciating. Well, you're literally defeating the use case. But anyway, my second point was in the kind of a revolution scenario. So we're all participating in this virtual currency revolution, right? So we're fighting the banks, we're fighting the tax man, maybe. How exactly, what good is a law that they cannot enforce? And I ask this on a huge scale, because we have a lot of laws in our country today that they cannot enforce, and even the current tax code is one such law. You've got how many IRS agents and how many population. You cannot, if every single person in 2018 said, I'm not going to pay my taxes, how are you going to enforce that?
They can't even go after that. And this is, I think you were on the line earlier. This is going to be a watershed moment or year for crypto taxes, because we're going to see the article says here that there are $25 billion in cryptocurrency taxes that we'll be paying, or is owed, for 2017. Now it's going to be interesting to see, Don, how much they collect this year. That's going to tell a lot,
right? And technologically, I mean, I think we're at the point, I haven't read too much, but I've heard people mention it, that we've got sort of blockchain address scanners or whatever, where they can go through. But but come on, guys, really? How exactly are you going to go through and get everyone? I just, you can't do it in the current tax code.
Finding out who is not paying is one thing, but actually going after them seems to be another.
Right,
that takes
and
money.
Let's talk about too, with my limited tech knowledge, IP addresses. So I'm guessing you can look up any Bitcoin address that you want to, and you can even look up their IP address, and maybe that address is an address at my physical address. That's where it's coming from. But that is not 100% proof that I made that transaction. Me, myself, made that transaction. I could have, somebody out of my house could have done it. I could have sold my computer to somebody that made that transaction. I just don't understand how they're going to do that piece of it. So anybody that's a little more tech minded, please chime in. I don't see it. I'm real curious to see where it goes.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's going to be challenging. I know Chainlink, I believe, is a company, just raised $15 million more, if I'm not mistaken. And I can try to bring that up right now. I believe I saw that. Chainlink. Let me see. Let me go back to the home page really quickly. It may have been on a different site that I saw this, but Chainlink raised some more money. They're trying, man. They're trying to ramp up. And
I guess too. How does that affect anyone using a VPN? Are they? What do you do there?
Well, yeah, that's a good question, but really more so for me, I think where they're going to catch people are those off ramps, the Coinbases, the Geminis. That's where they will catch people, and then, like you said, if they catch one person, then they can go from there all the way back through a lot of the off-chain, not off-chain, but off-exchange transactions that you've done.
Yeah, I suppose you're right there, which brings up kind of an interesting question, because I know they subpoenaed Coinbase for $20,000. I mean, if you're like me, you're not playing with those kind of funds. So,
but no,
I'm just going to cash out.
But that was only in 2013 through 15. That's not even this year or last year. That was only for those 2 years.
Yeah, so you're saying, so we're saying they could be getting Coinbase's entire list up to, a penny, right? And running it back. I mean, all cash outs. Let's say they subpoena Coinbase for every transaction, every single cash out.
Yeah, that
it would be possible that they could do that, and then just work from the big fish backwards, your biggest transaction back, until you find it to be not profitable anymore to chase down these leads.
Right. Yeah.
Man, that is, talk about government being what's the word? Responsive instead of proactive. Behind the curve.
Yeah.
Just trying to play catch up. That's just ridiculous.
They normally do. Have to play catch up. So we'll see, man. We will see. Let me just make this announcement. I'm going to just hold for 1 second, Don. Guys, I'm going to take one more call. I don't have anyone on right now, so give me a call. 669-900-6833. The code is 169-861-119. Give me a call. But yeah, man, I don't know how this is gonna pan out, Don. I don't know. Like I said, I do know. I feel like this year again will be a watershed moment or year. I want to see how many people voluntarily submit their crypto gains.
Well, I thought Cliff said something about not being able to, the government kind of failing in the tax regard. Do you recall seeing something
that?
That?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
he absolutely did. He saw some.
We got to ping Cliff on that.
Yep. So.
Hey, you mind if I change gears real quick? I was going to talk about Cliff real quick and his reports. I was going to see a quick.
Yeah, I don't have anyone online, so we can talk. Absolutely.
Do you think that his data is kind of skewed as far as time frames now that we suspect manipulation might be here? And I'm saying this with regards to precious metals calls. I mean, if we looked at organic growth of precious metals, I mean, I don't think $600 silver is unreasonable at all. But with the manipulation, his reports are off. So. Yeah, so I was just looking at like the last 13,888 or 88 call at the end of February that was missed, and I was just thinking to myself, if this manipulation comes in, is his timing going to be not as accurate with these calls?
Yeah, and man, something is definitely something is definitely off for sure. And
because he was hitting everything early on.
He was hitting, man. He had an 80 plus percent hit rate, in my opinion. And so either one of two things, in my opinion. Either you got like Langley or some agency has figured out a way to tamper and throw his data off. Not sure if that's even possible. I'm just speaking from my own thoughts. That either that or the other thing I was thinking is that his reports have gotten so popular that maybe there's some type of feedback loop that's throwing off everything. Again,
I thought of that.
I don't know. So I haven't talked to him about what the reasons behind his data being off is, but honestly, when we saw that run from, I think it was like where we are now, roughly up to 20,000, when we blew past 13,000 and we just kept going, I thought then something was up, you know.
As did I. Said we 1388 seems like it should kind of hover around there, stop on there. Hey, it should be some sort of milestone that's not just blow right by it by that. And man, I tell you, in that regard, this bear market kind of caught me and almost everybody else, I think, by surprise.
Everyone else.
We all watched it go from 8 to 20, and we all knew a correction coming. We didn't know this was coming.
Yeah, this was a big one, and definitely caught me off guard. It probably caught everyone, and anyone saying that they sold at the top. I don't know. You were lucky.
Yeah, the people that sold at the top, they were probably just selling the correction, not the bear market. And so, I mean, to that point, they still did the right thing. But my gosh, what a bloodbath. So, in terms of Cliff's, I'd like to. He's been so busy lately; he ain't putting out much. But it'd really be interesting. Like to your point about if an agency has found a way to throw his report off. I mean, I kind of find that unlikely because he taps into kind of everybody, and that's just going to be one agency unless they're putting out bots. I guess they could be putting out bots, putting out garbage.
Yeah,
I guess they could be doing that.
Right. So, I think that's possible. That was one scenario I was running through my head. But up until last year, his hit rate was phenomenal, man. And too good to be true for too long. Maybe, I don't know. Can we get back on track?
Yeah.
Hopefully. And if he doesn't, I'm still a supporter. I've been, messing with Cliff for like 5-6 years, man, before he even started really making people money kind of in that aspect. So,
I'm glad I got in when I did at 17 in 2017.
That was a huge year. If you could have picked any year to get in, you could have skipped all the years prior to 17 was a good year for people to get in. But like I always say, it's not when you get in, it's when you sell. Getting into a position is the easiest thing you could do.
That's right.
Knowing when to get out is where the pros and the amateurs are. That's where the difference is. So. Yeah, but if you're if you're a hodler, if you're in it for a more long term, I think this is still good buying opportunities, and we should see
it's accumulation zone for sure.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: where do you think we will end in the year now? I mean, there have been data sets that Cliff was showing 100,000 by the year end. You got the crazy head McAfee talking about 500,000 in the next 3 years. Where do you see the end of this year for Bitcoin?
It's hard. I'm not a chartist, but what I see, I don't see Cliff's data being accurate any longer, barring the institutional money coming in, which I've just about given up hope on that, but seeing the Soros news was kind of good. I kind of got really sick and tired of seeing institutional money I kind of just lost hope on that. But
right.
I guess
or a black
Soros
swan,
is a
right?
spark of life.
We could have a black swan event.
So barring the institutional money and the black swan event and hyperinflation, which I guess you may call black swan, but barring hyperinflation, which I've about given up on now too, I see us at maybe, man, I'm going to go on record here, but I see us maybe 30,000 by the end of the year, I think, 20 to 30. It's anybody's guess.
3,000?
30.
Oh, 30,000. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
No one.
I just don't see.
So first, any chart chartists out there that's saying they can chart where Bitcoin will be by the end of the year is retarded. There's no way.
Oh,
anywhere above 20,000, I guess.
I gotta ask you this question too. I gotta ask you this. You're a chartist, so you can answer this question.
Yep.
We're in a market in its infancy. How does that compare to charting equities or other established markets? Is it the same? Is it different? Is it you just kind of chart and hope it follows, barring some fundamental news that comes out? I mean, is there something?
It's the same. It's pretty much the same. It's the same. It's more organic over here right now. So you know it's I don't want to say less manipulated. I guess it is less manipulated, but it's still manipulated by whales inside of the crypto community. But you would chart it the same way. I didn't have to adjust my charting skills that I
because I guess it's market psychology at the end of the day.
It is.
Right?
That's all it is. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Yep. That's all it is.
Yeah. So I guess I say 30 if you want to know the basis. There's really no basis. I just saw the run to 20. I saw it get slammed back down, and then I saw Cliff's call it 100, and I was like, yeah, I mean, if we're this far back now, I definitely am not seeing 40,000 by July and 64 by end of summer and 100 by the end. I don't know. Like I said, barring some event, and we could have an event. For whatever it's worth, I'd welcome an event. Let's bring this thing home. But yeah, that's just my call. No real basis. Just kind of gut feeling after watching watching the markets every day for the last year and a half or whatever it's been. You kind of gauge sentiment. You get to see what people are feeling like, and I don't know. I'd welcome some slow and steady growth for the year. That's what I would like.
I wouldn't mind that either. That'll be good for me for sure, because my algos could then outpace a hodler. Because any algo would definitely have lost last year, because holding would have been a much better scenario for you last year. So we'll see though. Slow and steady will be great this year.
That's all right. All right, we'll let you go. Have a good one, and thank you.
Okay, Don. Thank you. So, caller on the line, give me 1 second. I'm gonna change my battery on the camera. Give me a second, all right?
No problem.
All right, let's see here. Caller on the line. You will probably be the last caller for tonight. We're going 2 hours strong. What's going on?
Yeah, it's Mr. Organic. I'm back.
Oh, great. Mr. Organic, I hope you're eating organic food out of that oven.
Yep, we got some lamb and herbs from the garden, rosemary, all the trimmings. So,
all right, cool. So what's going on with you?
Well, I just wanted to comment on the tax part of that, because I'm having to deal with an anti-money laundering, the AML, KYC, that whole part of the token and stuff, and that's actually the most expensive part, is hiring the law firms that specialize in that.
Right.
So how I understand it is the companies that are issuing the tokens or are going to be using them in their platforms, they have to report just like you would anything else. So they're going to have, so if you use an address to sign up with a company, so, either if you have your tokens, you get an ICO, or you get them on an exchange, or you buy them from the company, you're still going to have to go through the know your customer stuff. And then that way, when, the company does its taxes, it has its clients and, what's owed. So, I mean, as far as I know, that's not going to be very easy to get around it if you're using your tokens for a platform.
Right. So I guess the question though is, I don't know if it was you, but we were getting ready to talk about whether or not utility tokens are necessary. Was that you, or is that someone else?
Yeah, no, that was one of the things we were talking about. And I mean, this is part of why they are necessary, is because if you're going to be having some kind of special purpose for your token, where it's doing something other than just being, you know, used for value transfer, then the, you know, the knowing your customer protocols are going to all, you know, that's going to be part of the business model. You're going to have to know who you're dealing with.
Yeah, I got you.
When it comes to holding like decentralized stuff like Monero and like Cloak and, you know, some of the other the coins. I mean, I really don't. I have no clue how anonymous they are. I don't really trust any of that, to tell you the truth.
Okay. Understandable.
But I mean, I really don't know enough to know that. I think that what it is that anyone that has an operating system that is sending information back to the company, I think it would be sending back information about you using cryptos. I mean, that's something, you know, maybe you should ask Cliff High next time you're talking to him. You know, what the level of, like, is it the reporting from the anti-money laundering stuff that they're going to be like focusing on, or are they going to actually be going into seeing, you know, matching IP addresses and all that kind of stuff?
So
but anyways, I don't want to get around that. I want to have a token that my business can use and be legitimate, and we can pay taxes with it. That's, you know, see, that's I'm not trying to get around that. So that's kind of
so difference. My question though is, even with the AML, right? You take a scenario where you know, at the beginning you're issuing these tokens to people. Well, what about the scenario when that person takes those tokens and goes to an exchange or a decentralized exchange and they sell them to someone else? Now those tokens are no longer associated with that individual that you did AML or KYC for, or on, I should say.
Well, so yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a good point.
So how, you know, how is KYC even net? I think like KYC is only good for an ICO event, a token raise. I mean, from a regulatory standpoint, like they would only be able to know who initially first had those tokens, but after that, and that's where it's kind of different than equities, because we have a decentralized ecosystem now. I can take those tokens and go sell them to someone overseas, and then they hold them, and you know, who knows who they are.
Well, there's no record until you use them. So I think you're right. I think it's like having, you know, silver or something. You know, you have that. Anyone can have the silver. When you go and use it, you're going on the books as buying something with whatever it is. I think what it's going to be, it's going to be at the point of sales when you're actually using tokens for the company, or when you're using some exchange them for another one, if it's a decentralized wallet or something. You're right. How are they going to, you know, track that? And I think that the thing is, technology is evolving. So the anonymous coins and all that kind of stuff, we're going to have, there's a lot of money into them. So it actually makes sense that there's a certain level of anonymity.
Yeah, it's a hard word to
say. Anyways, I'll smoke another bowl and then I'll be able to say it. The whole thing is, the whole thing is like you're when you use something, then there's a record of it. So it's like, we want there to be a record of it when you use a token. If you're going to take it for making some combos, or going to, you know, buy a conveyor belt for a bagging, you know, thing, you want to be able to have the smart contract, have all the, you know, the use cases in that. But it is going to be nice to have cryptos that are anonymous, that are not connected to the tokens, that you kind of hold your value. And if you don't, how I see it, you know what I mean, you'd hold your value that you want to keep out of the tokens, man, and then you
feel
buy
you
tokens
that.
when you want to use them.
I think you're right, but it's like we're going backwards, because you're saying like, yeah, you're gonna spend a little bit of money, or a lot of money initially to go through that process to have that token be officially a security or whatever you want to call it, but there's a lot that goes along with that, having like your company actually having a security. There are so many forms and laws and regulatory things that you have to follow once you're a company that has some type of share or commodity. There's a lot of running capital that you're going to spend yearly, or not even yearly, quarterly, to maintain that status. So it's going to be interesting, man. I don't know.
Check out Cross Law out of Reno. They're a basically like a retired like trust and like anti-money laundering law firm. That's all they deal with.
Okay.
And you'll see the level of, I mean, if you're interested, but I can also, like, after I meet with them, I can like give you an update on kind of like what our process is as we go through as we're building the token, you know, all that, because that'd be cool for you guys to see that, and you know, everyone can learn.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, I appreciate the call in. I'm gonna wrap this show up for tonight. I thank you for your knowledge and your feedback on this subject, though.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't want to show my coin, but at some point when I have like a seed investing round or something like that, I'm going to open it up to, you know, people who I think are, you know, I want to get in the beginning and, you know, get a, you know, the seed investing, you know, realm of it is the cheapest price. So I'll let you guys know, and you can you know, maybe open that up for like a couple hours, like an hour on a show or something, have a thing where people can go, and then, you know, shut it down. So
okay, all right, that sounds good.
I'll let you know when that happens, and let you know about the you know, all the anti-money laundering stuff as I learn about it.
Okay, that sounds great, man. Thanks for the call back. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, people, I think that's it, man. We've gone 2 hours and 19 minutes so far. This was a good night, though. I enjoyed myself, and hope you guys did too. So this is the end of episode 6 with Off the Chain with Crypto Blood, and thank you for joining, people. I'll check you next week. Peace.